$500 million. That's how much the state of Texas paid out in possibly fraudulent unemployment claims made during the pandemic over the last 14 months.
The KVUE Defenders found out some Texans have gotten letters demanding that they pay the state back, even though they never applied for or received unemployment benefits.
And even though some victims have reported the problems to the Texas Workforce Commission, the letters keep on coming. Here's investigative reporter Brad Stryker.
The Texas Workforce Commission says possibly more than 350,000 fraudulent unemployment benefit claims have been filed between March 2020 and March 2021. But now some Texans facing the aftermath of identity theft also have to deal with TWC telling them to pay back money they never even got in the first place.
What information do they have? Where did they get it? Have they opened up accounts in my name? Just everything. Everything just races through your mind.
Kristen Maxwell never filed for unemployment benefits, so she was surprised when her employer's Human Resources Department said they received a claim from the state in her name.
It's destabilizing as a human. You feel really vulnerable and exposed.
Maxwell knows at least 8 other people this happened to as well.
That says to me that this is a really big issue and a big problem that's hitting a lot of people.
And because of COVID-19, it's hitting a lot more people. In 2019, TWC flagged 1,142 suspicious unemployment claims. But in 2020, TWC identified 234,268 suspicious claims. That's a 20,000% increase. One of those suspicious claims is under the name Janice Armstrong.
I began receiving checks and a credit card, debit card in December, saying the Texas Workforce was giving me money. I did not apply for it.
Even though she never filed for unemployment, TWC sent her a debit card and a check, a total of $2,140. She says she never used that money and she reported the fraud to TWC, but the agency kept demanding she pay it back.
I continue to get these threatening letters from the Texas Workforce overpayment, and I'm at a loss.
Armstrong has been trying to fix this issue since January. This thick folder holds all her correspondence with TWC.
Texas Workforce Battle, that's the title of it. And I'm sick of this. It's stressing me out.
But we brought her case to TWC and got results. A few days later, she got a letter telling her the agency recognized she was the victim of unemployment fraud and she doesn't owe any money back to the state.
They're not getting the memo that I was the victim of fraud, and so they're still trying to collect money from me.
Unfortunately, Adam Mattingly hasn't had the same luck. Someone filed for unemployment using his information, which he says he reported to TWC multiple times since October.
Literally, there's nothing I can do. They say to call the fraud department, and nobody answers the fraud department. And so I'm just like, what do I do?
Mattingly continues to get letters demanding him to pay back $1,042.
I know that this is like rampant and widespread, and that's probably why nobody's calling me back, because they're getting like thousands of calls a day.
But this issue is much more than widespread. Since the pandemic started, there have been 4.8 million unemployment claims made between March 2020 to March 2021. About 373,000 of those are suspected to be fraudulent, about 7%. Texas has paid out $44.7 billion in unemployment claims during that time. An estimated $577 million was paid out to suspicious claims.
So, yeah, I feel like they need to do something.
James Burnson from TWC says the agency catches fraudulent claims in time to stop the payment about 80% of the time.
Do you think TWC is doing enough as it stands to prevent this from happening and also to stop it when it does happen?
We are doing a lot. Now, that's to say that we are continually improving.
We brought Armstrong and Mattingly's frustrations to TWC.
Some of these folks are telling us that it has been months since they first contacted TWC and they are still getting letters like this. Do you think that's acceptable?
No, I think we have a lot to do to stop that process and slow it down. But again, it's a volume process. And we have a lot of our investigators have, as you've seen, gone from 1,000 cases to 300,000. That's a lot of cases that our investigators need to prioritize their efforts on.
Burnson says as long as you submit information to TWC letting them know you're the victim of unemployment fraud, you should be good to go. It may just take time for the agency to verify that and stop sending you notices. That's a process he says they're trying to speed up. Mattingly says that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
Maybe it's temp workers, maybe like employ more people, but the fraud department needs to have people answering the phone and not having it be an answering machine.
And while some fraud victims wait for the demand letters to stop coming, Armstrong holds out hope that people stealing Texans' identities will be held accountable.
I believe in the God Almighty, and those people who are doing it, if they don't get punished here on earth, they will in eternity.
TWC notifies employers and individuals who file for unemployment. If you did not file an unemployment claim, TWC recommends your employer notify the agency and recommends you do the same through the fraud portal on their website. We put the link to that in this story. Just go to KVUE.com/defenders. In Austin, for the KVUE Defenders, I'm Brad Stryker.